about you if you want to talk about Carolina history and haunts.
Okay. You want me to look in the camera or look at you?
Actually, would be great if you look at her. Yeah.
Great.
Am I allowed to give her the finger?
Yeah.
My name is Dan Riedel. I'm a co-owner of Carolina History and Haunts. My wife and I formed the business last year, and we run ghost tours for downtown Greensboro and tell people the scary ghost stories and local legends and lore of the local area, local downtown Greensboro area.
All right. Where is Lydia's Bridge?
Lydia's Bridge is located, I believe it's High Point Road in the Jamestown area. It might be called Greensboro Road around that point. I believe it used to be called Highway 70.
What is the legend of Lydia's Bridge, as you know it?
There was actually a couple different legends, what we've heard. The story is a girl actually went to prom somewhere in Raleigh, and on her way back home, got into a car wreck. The way the curve came right at the bridge, the car lost control and actually crashed into the bridge where the driver of the car died at the scene, but she did not die. She got out of the car, was very badly injured, and tried to wave down passing cars. No car stopped to help her out, and she eventually died of her car injuries, the wounds.
Okay.
I forgot I was going to keep continuing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, keep on. I'll let it up.
But that's what happened to her. She died at the scene, and the story is actually even as early as 1 year after it happened. She died in 1923. As early as 1924 was the first occurrence. Man saw a girl wearing a white dress on the road trying to flag him down, so we stopped and picked her up. When she got in the car, she said she was trying to go home. She was coming back from a prom. Didn't talk much, but that's what she said, and she actually gave the address for where she was going. When he brought her there, he got out of the car, went over to the passenger side to let her out, and she was gone. So he actually figured that she ran inside the house. So he went up to the door. Old lady came to the door, and her husband, and he asked where their daughter was, and they started crying. The lady started crying. The man asked, or the husband actually told the man what had happened because the man did say her name was Lydia, so the husband knew that he just drove home his daughter who died in a car wreck. The man was shocked, the husband was shocked, and the man that drove her home was shocked when he learned of that story, that she died, and he drove home a ghost.
All right. Well, my next question was going to be on the if you knew any of the historical facts about the legend or the circumstances surrounding it, but I guess you kind of just went over that.
They actually, it's been an ongoing story since 1924. It's happened to quite a few people. The stories kind of vary in certain places. One man actually drove to the house, and he said when he got out, she was not there, but her scarf was on the seat. So when he brought the scarf there, the same thing, the husband told him what happened and said that the scarf was actually buried with the girl because she wore it all the time, which is another difference. But as far as the history, a lot of people, someone did research and actually found a birth certificate and a death certificate of a girl named Lydia that died at the bridge in 1923, which actually made it a lot more creepy knowing that she was real. It wasn't just the local legend.
Right. What, if any, are your experiences with Lydia's Bridge?
I have not had any experiences, but I'll tell you, every time I drive past the bridge, I definitely look past it. I mean, look at the bridge located next to the actual Lydia's Bridge. I'm always looking for something. The story is you have to be in your car, or you don't necessarily have to, but they would like you, or she would like you to be alone in the car. That's when it normally happens if you're alone. So most of the times I drive by, I'm not normally alone, but the times I've passed when I am alone, I'm always waiting to see something. And so I always get an eerie feeling when I pass there, but I've never seen anything.
Okay. Do you know anyone who has experienced anything unusual at Lydia's Bridge?
One of my good friends was actually driving past the bridge one time. He actually wasn't quite to the bridge yet when he noticed a white figure off on the side of the road. They passed it. He was not in the car alone. They passed the figure, stopped the car, and turned around, and when they came back, it was gone. That was the only experience they had. The girl, there was no girl flagging down, but they did say the figure looked like a human. It was just kind of in white off to the side of the road. So that's the only actual experience anyone I knew has had.
All right. I have a few other questions that don't actually have too much to do with Lydia's Bridge, but
Okay.
have you ever seen a ghost before?
I have never seen a ghost before, but I have seen some creepy pictures, more along the lines in Asheville. I learned from paranormal groups that if you're going to take a picture of one place, take more than one picture, because something may pop out. So there's a story in Asheville of a bridge, kind of like Lydia's Bridge, but the story is the lady was watching, I don't know if she was babysitting or if it was her own children, but she left the house for a minute, and when she came back, the house was on fire, and the children actually died inside the house. She couldn't live with herself, so she went out to the bridge and hung herself from the bridge. So while we approached the bridge, I took about 4 pictures. Two of them had like a sun glare. The first one had like a sun glare towards the top of the bridge. I didn't think anything of it. And the second one had the glare underneath the bridge, which was a little more creepy. And then the third picture actually had a bunch of orbs in it, and the way they were set up, it actually formed a lady with black hair. Very, the face wasn't that defined, but you could see the eyes and the nose, and she was wearing like a period type dress, a white dress, and that's what we caught on camera. It was kind of eerie to see that.
Okay. My last question is, you being you having a tour involving the supernatural and hauntings. This must be something that interests you quite a bit. What is your, I guess, philosophy, or what do you think an apparition like? What is your thoughts on ghosts in general? Like what do you think they are? And what do you,
Well, from what we've learned from people, and I told you that I've never seen any ghosts before, but I always get strange feelings if you put me in a place. If you tell me, if I know a certain history of a place, like 5 people died in this room brutally, and you walk in that room, you can't help but feel something when you're in there. And so, as far as ghosts, what they might be, certain energy, that someone had when they were alive, if they had like a positive energy or negative energy that might remain after they die, or a sudden death, or just an untimely death, someone that needed to complete something and never completed it when they died, and that's why they might linger in a certain spot. If that's why I believe if someone was murdered in a house or just died not their time, or that they may be in that house. And although I've never seen anything, I believe that one day I will, especially on our tour going to these places where we have these stories at.
all right. That's actually all the questions I have. If there's anything else you'd like to say, I don't know anything. I don't know. That's pretty much wrapped up. I just didn't know if you had anything else you'd like to add. Or...
I don't think so. What do you think?